We're here in City Hall today to hear firsthand the experience of Munira Subasic. Munira lost 22 members of her family, including her husband and young son, in the massacre at Srebrenica. How anyone keeps going after a tragedy of that magnitude is unimaginable. But Munira has not just done that, she's dedicated herself to seeking truth and justice, and to searching for those victims who are still missing 25 years later. While it's a difficult story to hear, it's one that should never be forgotten, as it absolutely reinforces the importance of recognizing and tackling prejudice, no matter what form it takes.
Ja sam Munira Subasic, predstavnica majki iz Srebrenice i Žepe. Već 25 godina preživjela sam genocid. U genocidu mi je ubijeno 22 člana moje uže familije. Imamo jako dosta porodica koje su komplet ubijene. I otac, i majka, i kćerke, i sinovi, i unučadi, i snahe, tako da te kuće nikad neće imati svoje naslednike. Mi smo majke rekle, mržnju moramo ostaviti na stranu. Moramo se boriti da vodimo dijalog, da prozivamo odgovorni, da svjedočimo pred sudovima, da zločinci imaju imena i prezimena kao zločinci, što i naša djeca imaju imena i prezimena kao žrtve. Kroz dijalog moramo stvarati povjerenje, ne zbog nas majki, nego zbog djece koje ostaju iza nas. Djeca su naša budućnost. Moramo graditi bolje sutra i u Srebrenici, i ovdje u ovome kraju, i u Americi, i gdje god postoji mladost, trebamo pomoći da ta djeca odrastaju zdrava, bez osveta, bez mržnji i bez nečega, a moraju znati šta im je stvarno se i desilo. Ja bih želila da svi oni koji se rode i koji su rođeni da imaju bolju i sretniju budućnost nego što smo imale mi majke Srebrenici. Nije lako spavati, ležći sa tugom, ustati s bolom. Nije lako ukopati jednu kost, a znate da ste imali sina koji je bio Dalija. Hvala vam što ste me slušali.
Genocide doesn't happen overnight. Genocide is rather the culmination of a series of steps that starts with words. It starts with rhetoric that divides communities between them versus us. It starts with the dehumanization of another group, and that almost becomes legitimate. And what you see is that if we fail to actually take the steps to tackle that at an early stage, it can manifest itself into some of the worst excesses that you saw in Srebrenica.
In July 1995, as Nicola said, a lot of things were happening here. One of the things that I suspect those of us of a certain age remember, and I don't say this in any political way, was when David Trimble and Ian Paisley walked down the bottom of the Gravaki Road holding hands. I think that's a memory, an image that we will all have. At that very precise time, on that day, the genocide started in Srebrenica.
The purpose of the panel this morning is really to draw out the parallels with the situation here in Northern Ireland, and to really draw on people's expertise. We always find whenever people have discussions about such issues that it brings out a much richer diversity in the conversation, actually makes people think about what is happening within their own context.
I think one of the most important things that came out of it for me was the issue around narratives and being able to acknowledge people's own personal narratives of conflict. We know that education remains an issue in Northern Ireland in terms of segregated systems, and we can see that as well in Bosnia. But just to be able to hear from the panel and to be able to hear from our other participants just how significant it is to bring young people together and for them to understand the common humanity around conflict was incredibly important.
Munira's story as a mother of a 17-year-old, recovering a bone, finding a gravestone, getting a cemetery in an area that's still in denial, was extremely inspirational. But her most important words are really that she had the ability to survive. She had resilience, she coped, and she's passing that on to young people so that we don't have to have a reoccurrence of hatred.
We're here in Girdwood Community Hub today with young people from around the city. These young people weren't born when the terrible events of 25 years ago took place. So this is an opportunity to hear about it directly from those who lived through it. The horror and impact of what happened in Srebrenica is something that I'm sure will stay with them for a long time to come. But the lessons that we can learn from the mistakes of the past are something that I know has also had a real impact on the young people here today.
Learning about the genocide that happened in Bosnia and Herzegovina in the 90s. Talking about how people over there were treated during this genocide, especially Turks and Muslims, as like similar to here.
We were discussing that about sectarianism, that as a lot happens over here, it can happen over anywhere in the world.
Anyone who has the privilege of hearing from Munira and Almina speak of their experiences cannot help but be moved by what they've been through. How they have used this tragedy as a catalyst to inspire young people around the world to turn their back on prejudice and embrace acceptance and tolerance is truly inspiring.